Welcome to this explainer. Okay, today we are tackling a document that literally every college student knows, but let's be honest, we rarely read it closely enough. Yep, the course syllabus. But we're not looking at just any syllabus. We're diving into Dr. Krista Togan's Remote Math 091 course at Harrisburg Area Community College. We're going to go ahead and skip the fluff today to focus purely on the testing requirements and how to actually succeed in this class. Consider this your ultimate survival guide for mastering those incredibly strict remote rules and ultimately passing the course. Let's jump right in.
So if you're taking this course, this is absolutely the single most important question you have to ask yourself. How do you avoid an automatic zero? In a traditional in-person classroom, you know the drill. You show up, you take the test, you hand it in. But in Dr. Togan's Remote Fundamentals of Algebra course, the virtual testing environment is strictly regulated, like seriously regulated. Failing to understand the very specific tech and procedural requirements doesn't just mean losing a couple of points. No, it can actually trigger an instant automatic zero for an assessment, regardless of how well you actually know the math. This explainer is your key to navigating these strict rules, so you can just focus on the algebra instead of worrying about getting penalized.
To put things in perspective, let's look at a massive number, 70%. That is exactly how much of your overall course grade is determined by exams alone. Sure, your homework in the online platform ALEKS makes up 15% and flex discussions make up the rest, but a whopping 70% relies completely on how you perform on test day. And keep in mind, the final exam alone is a huge chunk of that. So if you don't have these testing rules down absolutely perfectly, 70% of your grade is actively on the line.
And honestly, the stakes get even higher right out of the gate. The syllabus is crystal clear on this. You literally cannot pass this course without taking the exams. If you miss the very first exam, you're dropped. Miss the second exam, dropped. There's absolutely no coasting through the first half of the semester thinking you can just make it up on the final. No way. Missing these early milestones results in an immediate administrative drop. You've got to be ready to test and test correctly from day one.
Okay, so what does testing correctly actually look like? Well, let's look at a direct quote from the syllabus, complete with all caps and 4 exclamation points. Your practice exam must look just like this. When a professor breaks out the all caps, you know it's a zero-tolerance policy. For every single remote assessment, you are absolutely required to use an external, standalone side view camera along with the Respondus lockdown browser. Your camera has to clearly show a full profile view of both you and your entire workspace for the whole duration of the exam. If your setup is slightly off, like if it cuts off your hands, or your screen, or your scratch paper, your exam gets an automatic zero. No exceptions.
Right. So what's the dividing line between passing and an instant zero? It all comes down to your tech. Let's break down exactly what's allowed and what's totally banned. For the allowed tech, you absolutely must use that external side view camera we just talked about. You can easily grab one on Amazon or at the campus bookstore. For calculations, a standard scientific calculator like the TI-30X is totally fine, or you can just use the digital one built right into ALEKS. Now for the banned side, do not even think about using your computer's built-in front-facing webcam. It's strictly prohibited. Also, you can't use your cell phone, no smartwatches, and definitely no graphing calculators or devices that feature a computer algebra system or CAS. Using any of those banned items is a one-way ticket to a zero. So, how do we turn all these rules into an action plan? Well, to actually get into your real exam, you have to prove your tech works by following 3 strict steps. Step 1, get that side view camera. Step 2, make sure you have the Respondus lockdown browser installed on a reliable computer with strong Wi-Fi. And step 3, this is the real gatekeeper right here. You must take the practice exam using this exact setup. You won't even get the password for your actual exam until you complete the practice exam exactly as instructed, proving your camera shows your full workspace. It's basically Dr. Togan's way of making sure you don't fail a real exam just because of a technicality.
Now, we all know life happens, right? But what happens if you actually miss a test? The syllabus outlines a very strict limit on makeups. You can make up Exam 1 or Exam 2, but absolutely not both. And if you do end up taking a makeup, you're going to get hit with a steep 20% late penalty. This really just reinforces how crucial it is to stay on schedule. Under the remote testing agreement, any technical issue on your end can result in a zero with no extra time given. So please, test your tech early, because relying on that makeup policy will heavily damage your final grade.
So we know testing correctly is mandatory, but your overall success also hinges on another major number,
15%. According to college policy, if your unexcused absences or failure to participate exceeds 15% of the total class hours during the drop period and you're failing, you will be removed from the course and assigned an F. And there's a pretty severe financial aid warning tied to this too. Missing just 1 week of class triggers an immediate drop for non-attendance, which can completely derail your financial aid status. It's serious stuff.
That naturally leads to the question, how do you actually attend a virtual class? Because it's not just about logging into a portal and staring at your screen. The Federal Department of Education actually requires active participation. So to explicitly define attendance and protect your enrollment, you have to do things like submitting an assignment in ALEKS, taking a quiz or an exam, or proactively reaching out to Dr. Toggins to ask a math question. Simply logging in without actively engaging just doesn't count. You need to make sure you're leaving a clear digital footprint of your hard work every single week.
Speaking of your digital footprint, communication is absolutely vital. Since this course is 100% remote, you don't have the luxury of hearing your professor shout out reminders as you pack up your bag at the end of class. Because of that, checking your student email, your Hawkmail, every single business day is a mandatory, non-negotiable habit. The syllabus clearly states you have to activate and monitor it. This is literally how you stay informed about potential automatic knowledge checks in ALEKS, any schedule updates, or urgent messages directly from your instructor.
Now, I know we've covered a lot of strictly enforced rules, but I really want to emphasize that this course is also designed with a massive amount of support. If you start falling behind, and hey, in math it's super easy to fall behind quickly, there are some really effective, completely free resources ready for you. You can hit up the Math Academy, which is a weekly resource designed just to fill in prerequisite gaps. You can access Hack Tutoring, look up specific topics on Khan Academy or YouTube, or, and the syllabus practically begs you to do this, email Dr. Toggins directly. She explicitly says, please let me know as soon as you think you might be behind. The strict rules are just there to maintain integrity, but your instructor genuinely wants you to succeed when the material gets tough.
Which brings us to our final and maybe most critical point. Have you actually read the full syllabus? What we've done in this explainer is highlight the absolute must-know, deal-breaking rules when it comes to testing and course success. But remember, this is just the highlight reel. Your ultimate responsibility is to go and read the actual document thoroughly for things like the daily schedule, grading scales, and the specific math topics you'll be covering. You've got to understand the rules, and you absolutely have to set up that side view camera. Because honestly, the biggest question isn't whether the algebra itself will be tough. It's whether you're willing to follow the rules closely enough to even earn the chance to solve the equations.